Hey guys, welcome to episode 26 of the Unknown Comics podcast.
Wait. It's not 7.
It's fine. I didn't post about it. We're just going.
But it's not 7.
It's fine.
Don't tell Brandon.
It's fine. we're spontaneous tonight.
Take Brandon out of the equation and we're early. God, he's going to be so pissed.
He's going to get back and it's like, wait, last week was episode 26 and it still says 25 on the screen. He's going to be so mad.
He's going to be like, what the hell, guys? You started early. You started.
He's going to have a list.
What's with the Twitch feed? Why is the laptop so in the picture? Blah, blah, blah. Rah. Hope you're watching right now, Brandon. I love you.
You can barely see the laptop. It's like shaded.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I'm Tanner.
You can't see Tanner.
I'm Darren.
I think I'm Chris.
Think so?
And we're missing Briss,
Yeah.
which is Brandon.
AKA Brandon.
Is this just going to be the new thing? Like we roast whoever's not here for the first 5 minutes?
God, I'm going to be roasted every.
Did we roast you?
No, it's just we made fun of you for missing the first one ever. I mean,
Yeah,
but
I guess that's true.
if we're roasting the person missing, that's going to be me like every week.
But you probably shouldn't go back and watch the ones you weren't here for.
It's a good thing I don't. If I'm not on it, it's not worth watching.
They're pretty good still.
But is there laughter and joy?
Yes.
Always.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I just
Usually,
want to.
usually more.
Oh,
It's like a party.
there's a party.
Yeah.
Is there a pinatas?
No.
But you'll never know.
I'll watch.
I'll watch.
I'll watch as soon as I catch up on all the TV I'm not caught up on yet.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
You know. So it's fun to be here, guys. And just so you know, if y'all are watching, we're sorry that we didn't do one last week, but we were real busy. And it was crazy. If Ben Percy would have been here one more day, he was totally willing to do a podcast with us, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And we might be able to get him to call in or something at some point. So
We have the technology.
Yeah. And the thing about Ben is I just really want him
He'd
to do
probably
the voiceover on our intro.
yeah, his voice. I, every time he talked, I wanted to be like, yeah, like I just like naturally I had to like, stop myself from.
You wanted to be like when
octaves.
Thor and Star-Lord were there together,
Yeah.
where it's like, did you just deepen your voice? No.
No, boy always talk. Yeah.
His voice was so amazing.
Yeah.
It's majestic.
Yeah.
It really is. Like,
And you didn't expect it either because he's not.
he's a small little fella.
He's
I
like
mean,
5'7", maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe.
so I didn't know expect either, and he's pretty stocky dude.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, I mean-
and he walks in and he says hi, and I'm like, oh my god, it's Wolverine.
Yeah. And he's writing Wolverine.
well, and he's wearing a Wolverine shirt.
yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah. And when he gives you did you shake his hand?
No.
He's like. I'm like, I'm glad my hand's all the way in there because that would have hurt.
So when he walked up and he first said hi to somebody, I was from a distance and I heard the hello. But it kind of looked like he was doing a mischievous hello, like
it wasn't real?
Like it wasn't real. He was just being that way. And then he said hello to the next person. I was like,
He just talks
maybe,
that. Yeah, it's a low register.
Then he came up and said hi to me, and I'm like, that's your real voice.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yep.
So that's my little fandom over. It was so hard not to nerd out last week. When you have Tyler Kirkham, for as good as we know Tyler Kirkham, I mean, I consider him one of my close friends in the industry. It's still hard being in the same room with him without geeking out.
Yeah, I mean, just sitting there watching him work like he does, and he does what he does in like 2 seconds. You're like,
Yeah,
jealousy.
they're pumping out those sketches fast.
Yeah, him.
Well,
Stegman. Yeah.
and Stegman, that was the first time. Okay, so the running joke, apparently, even with Stegman, I didn't realize it, is, I was sent to kill him back in December.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you were the COVID.
I was the COVID introducer into his life. But it was just really cool because I don't remember much of that interaction. But he is such a fun guy.
Why don't you remember any of it?
Because I had COVID and I didn't know it. I thought it was allergies, and it wasn't allergies. And again, I never actually tested positive for COVID.
Well, and on your way there, you weren't feeling sick at all.
No, I
It
was
like
fine.
As soon as you got there, it was
Like we got out of the Jeep when we hit our hotel in Michigan. I got out, I breathed in, and like my body went into shock. Like I got chills down my spine. I almost passed out. It was weird, and I had to like stumble into the hotel. We got into the rooms, and I was okay. I was cold, but that was it. And then it wasn't until we had actually come home that I started getting really sick.
yeah. And then you almost died.
And then I almost died for real. So, But
Still here.
But Stegman was such a cool dude, and I was still in shock. Like, he brought his wife. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why are you here? This is Amarillo.
Yeah.
Like, nobody voluntarily comes to Amarillo.
We asked her how the mall was. She's all, it was a mall.
Yeah,
In Amarillo.
it was barely that.
But her response to this whole situation, like, their only response is, we have kids. Oh,
Yeah.
I understand why you're here. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
That's good enough. That works.
And then, so we take them to Big Tex, and I'm just going to recap how fun, because we didn't get to do any of this last
Yeah.
week. So we take them to the Big Texan, and then, of course, just to make Brandon real mad, we decided to go out to the Cadillac Ranch, which actually delayed the show by an hour.
yeah.
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 And then we get out to Cadillac Ranch. Tyler Kirkham drew whatever he drew on the car.
Although I have to say that it's interesting that Scott Snyder tweeted something that was almost the exact same thing that Tyler Kirkham put on that car.
You mean Zack Snyder?
Zack Snyder, yeah.
Did you know that DC forced them to, like, remove that?
Really?
Yeah, DC forced them to remove
It's on the
Zack
internet. It's canon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real.
Well, once it's on the internet, there's no actually getting it off the internet.
Yeah, DC went all over like what they did to Trump with during all that, like, shut down the Twitter
I think his brother is the one that drew it, so he probably is going to sell that, that original to
for like $1
somebody.
million.
Awesome.
So we take them
Probably
out.
NFT.
So we pick up spray paint. We let them go spray paint at Cadillac Ranch.
Yeah.
And then, like, I think the best story, like, every story, like, when we have guests, involves them having to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Because, Tyler Kirkham was the live stream.
Yeah.
And then Ryan Stegman got out, and he's like, is there a bathroom anywhere near here? No.
They used to have porta potties out there, but
Yeah, and
they don't
I
have
guess when
anymore.
they put that coffee shop out there, that they took the porta potties away. So he went to the coffee shop. He's like, I'll give you $10
I
to
think
use your
you
bathroom.
jokingly said you should pay them
Yeah.
to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I guess he was.
He was serious. He
was
went up and
serious.
offered him $10, and then the lady told him no.
Yeah.
And he was all like, can I give you 20? I just have to pee. It's going to happen one way or the other.
And I think the peer pressure, because there were people in line behind him, they
He's
were
like,
like,
"Let
let
him
him do
pee."
it. The peer pressure got him in.
So, like, all the fun stories end up always revolving around having to pee.
Should have told him just do it the Texas way. Go out in the field.
That's what I
face
said.
away
I said
from the
just
highway.
I said
Yeah,
keep
but there's
walking.
kids everywhere. That's indecent exposure waiting to happen.
Yeah, and there was like a church group there too.
Yeah,
so-
there was a church group out there.
It's fine. You face away. They never know what you're doing.
I told him, I said there might have been some cows.
Did you say face the wind?
Don't face away from the
Okay, I was like,
people.
if you face the wind, that's
Yeah,
not very
sometimes-
productive.
Sometimes the way is in the wind, so you just gonna have to deal with the
Yep.
repercussions.
Yep. How bad do you really gotta go?
If you have to go that bad, it might be strong enough to fight the wind.
So, but it was that was definitely a fun experience. I mean, it was our second signing in store. We actually had some people show up in store. People online were super into the auction and the sketches. And this next go around on,
And they started off with just some little basic head sketches, and then they got really
They got pretty elaborate.
interesting.
well, the thing was, like, I think they were just going off of each, like, because Ryan would go through and Ryan would draw first.
Yeah.
And then he would pre-sketch exactly what he wanted Tyler to do. He's like, you're going to draw this. You're going to do this.
I thought it
You're-
was funny. I was like, poor Tyler. All the characters he's drawing are getting beat up.
That was true, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I just remember Ryan saying, hey, Tyler, I just need you to draw Spider-Man getting his head punched
But
off.
I think because those guys have such a similar style in ways that,
Yeah.
I mean, they just look so cool. With
Oh, yeah.
So
I all the pieces I really wanted to keep kept selling, so I'm real sad because I really wanted Batman holding the cat with licking his lips.
yeah, that one was funny.
Did that one get paid for?
Yes.
Did it go CGC?
Yes.
So we have it right now. You can look at it for a little bit longer.
Can we refund them?
No,
Take it to the Xerox, make a photocopy.
Fine. Fine.
the NFT file.
Right. What's done at unknown belongs to unknown. All right, so okay, that's enough about last week. Again, we're sorry we didn't do a podcast. We're sorry we missed a week.
This gives us twice as much stuff to talk about.
Yeah, because that
So
gives
we
us
have 2 episodes of Bad Batch, 2 episodes of Loki to go over.
I'm on episode 3 of Bad Batch.
Well, isn't that when the Moochie comes in?
This is
4,
Four, maybe.
this is the one where he was sent on a mission and he has to kill people. He kills people and he ends up having to kill one of his own, the sniper one. Whoever the sniper clone is, Crosshair. Like they go.
I can't never remember it because he always says it wrong, so I can't remember his name correctly. And then Brandon's all, this is what his name is.
Lazy Gamer says, how dare we miss a week? We're sorry.
Yeah.
You know, we're slackers. I mean,
It's mostly Brandon's fault.
Technically, we
He's
didn't
not
miss a
here,
week
so that's
because
who we're blaming.
we still have that mysterious week that never happened but did happen.
Well, and I mean, we were live for quite a few hours last week. So.
Quite a few hours.
Yeah. We were alive a lot.
Yeah.
Then we had our after hours.
Yeah.
We had heaters blowing up technology.
Yeah, I was moving all the gear back. It's like, no wonder it threw, like, all this stuff is plugged into one plug. It's daisy chain through surge protector.
She came around. Haley came around the corner and she's like, Chris, I'm sorry, but we just blew that breaker. And I was all, did you have the heaters on? Yeah, they were both on. I was like, well, a genius wouldn't have told you it was that hard to figure that was going to happen. I mean,
Well, and the greatest part about this is everybody, just so you understand,
Tyler's fault.
It's been 100 degrees in Amarillo for like 2 straight weeks.
Yep.
And we had heaters on in our conference room.
Yep. It was it's really cold in there.
And Tyler basically refused to come back in there until we actually allowed him to at least get to room temperature.
Around 70-ish.
Yeah. He had to keep leaving the room to warm himself. I thought we were gonna have to cut open like one of those tauntaun things in Star Wars and shove his body in there. So, all right. So Bad Batch.
Bad Batch. This last week. What'd you think about that? You gotta think about it.
Yeah,
So there was more happening.
this was the one where they were on the planet with the scavengers with Rex, right? Yeah.
No, that was Rex was before.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're still on the planet, and we see Crosshair coming back, right?
Right. He's
And
bringing
so-
a bunch of dudes with him.
Yeah, so
Crosshair's still bad at this point, right?
correct. Yeah, now they've all removed their chips at this point, their inhibitor chips, except for him. He still has his. So I was kind of hoping maybe they'd figure out a way to get him in that chamber to move his chip as well, but that doesn't look like that's happening. But
Not
it
at
looks
this
like
point.
something, though, because he got kind of heat waved there.
We might get to see something at the end of the series or the season is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Maybe he saves
Bring
them.
him.
He's like, oh, by the way, I was just a double imposter.
Well, I think that what we just saw with what just happened, he did get knocked out. I think something might have happened to his inhibitor chip in that moment. We'll see. But the big thing happened here is you have Cad Bane showing back up at the end of the episode and
Yeah, that was the big thing.
kidnapping the girl.
Omega.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that's the big thing here is we have a different bounty hunter. We also learned that the kid, what are they called? The cloners. They're the ones.
Kaminoans.
They're the ones that hired the bounty hunters to bring her back.
I was more excited about the previous episode. Rex was probably one of my favorite cartoon characters, so
Yeah.
that was cool.
And seeing him from the Rebels, and then seeing that's kind of that transition from him in the last episode with Ahsoka. Now he's here, and then you see him going towards where he's going to be.
Yeah.
In the future episodes of like the cartoon Rebels,
and regardless of how well he knew these guys, he was ready to kill them because they still had their chips.
yeah, he knew it was not okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and he took him to a place where they could get him out too, which was good.
Yeah, that was funny. He was like, "I've never been on this side of the operation." He was kind of wigged out.
Yeah, they're like, "How long does it take?" Yeah, but Wrecker goes off and tries to kill everybody
Because of the chip?
because of the chip.
Uh-huh.
So, and they're about to start the procedure for that when he goes off and is about to kill everybody for being a traitor, and then Omega ends up having to. Rex eventually gets back to tag him, but Omega's kind of there to really fight him to get him to that point of where he's kind of stopping and stuff like that. But
So does Omega have some kind of powers? Because
not that we've seen yet.
My guess is that she is force sensitive, though.
Yeah,
everything I've seen about her so far, and again, I'm 3 episodes in,
yeah,
she's just that Grogu.
yeah.
She's just Grogu that talks.
She's a very valuable asset.
Yes.
Because so far,
That results in side missions.
each of the Bad Batch has something special about them.
Yeah.
And if she's not force sensitive, something, the only thing special about her is she's female. So there's got to be something else
Right.
to her.
Yeah,
They took out a chromosome, man.
yeah. So it's good. I like it. It's getting it's I think what they say 16 episodes.
Yeah.
And the first one was an hour and 14 minutes. So that's really like 3 episodes almost.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're finally getting some good story. We're kind of getting past that character development.
Yeah,
and
we're
who's
getting
who
to
and-
what the actual story for the season is, I think.
yeah, so it's good. I'm sure they're probably going to be working on multiple seasons with this. There would be no reason for them not to. I mean, these guys are not part of the Rebel Alliance, at least from what we've seen. So that means they kind of have their own portion of the galaxy to go after.
So, and they're in a time period right now that's really not explored between the
Yeah.
fall of the Republic
They've
and
got
when the
20
Rebel Alliance actually is organized.
Yeah, they've got basically 20 years before Luke shows up. So
So do y'all see this? Y'all are farther along, and y'all are bigger Star Wars people than I am. Do y'all see this as these characters they could go back and do something live action with, or are they just always going to stick to the cartoons?
I mean, they could, right? Because that's where Ahsoka came from. She came out of the cartoons,
right.
So
We might see
Ezra's
some.
about to come out of the cartoons. He's going to be in Ahsoka's TV show. Sabine's going to be in Ahsoka's TV show.
So I mean, because you could totally bring them into like the Mandalorian world or the Boba Fett world, because I'd imagine these guys basically just become glorified bounty hunters after
They do.
Yeah, now they'd be a lot older because they age faster.
Yeah, I don't know that we'll see them in like the Mandalorian time period. But I think they're going to be dead by then.
Now it could be Obi-Wan's TV shows or the Calrissian or any of that kind of stuff. They could show up in there somewhere.
Yeah, that would be easier because there's an older guy in Return of the Jedi that they confirmed is actually Rex.
Have they gone back and retconned that?
Yeah, they're saying that's Rex.
Okay, I didn't know if it was a confirmed by.
Is
somebody.
Rex a clone too?
Yes.
Okay.
Rex was Anakin's #1 captain.
Okay.
Yeah, and then him and Ahsoka.
'Cause that's who
formed a
they're
very
looking
strong
for.
Bond.
Because that's who they're looking for in episode 3 is Rex, right? When the sniper guy is sent off to kill.
No, they were looking for.
Because there's a couple from episode 2 to 3, the couple that they met in episode 2 was a married couple with kids.
Yeah.
Like it
Now they
looked
talk
like
about they talk about Rex there because in the last season.
well, it
of
just
Clone
looks like
Wars-
they're also in episode 3 in that ship where everybody dies, and I'm like, but
that person they were looking for. I'm not good with names. It's the leader from Rogue One. That's who that was.
Oh,
What's his name?
the captain guy, the guy
Steve.
with the robot.
No, the leader that raised Jin, and she's kind of estranged. From him.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about now.
That's who that was.
Saw Gerrera.
Yes.
Yeah, they're looking for Saw Gerrera.
oh, okay.
Yeah, and he was there. It shows him, and he talks about how he's going to leave camp and if they want to join or whatever. So
Okay.
yeah.
Maybe that was episode 3 then.
So Saw Gerrera, and that kind of showed because he was in Rogue One, and then he's also been in Battlefront 2, and then he was also in the newest Star Wars PlayStation game 2, where you're playing the one Jedi that
Oh yeah.
I can't remember its name. I think it's Fallen Order or something
Something
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah, it's a good game. I like that game.
Okay.
You should play it. Even their games are in canon right now. They're
See,
all the stories matter.
the last Star Wars game I played, video game wise, was based around Phantom Menace.
Yeah, that was so long ago. That was a fun game.
I had a pod racing game. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think I have that one on PlayStation right now. Just
So
download it for
we're
old
talking.
time's sakes.
It's been 20 plus years since I've played a Star Wars
Yeah.
video game.
That game starts out with you walking out of the smoke,
Yep.
fighting the battle droids.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. It was one of those sidewinding games where you just kind of worked your way from right to left.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dungeon
So-
crawler style. Yep.
It was fun. So Bad Batch. I still trying to wrap my head around the animation. The animation still.
It's an acquired taste. I did
Yeah.
not like Clone Wars when it first came out.
Yeah, it was a lot more blocky.
Angular,
Yeah, and they around halfway between season 3, they kind of did a little bit more rounding, changed some of the color, the costumes and stuff like that. So it definitely got a lot better. So
Yeah,
but I think if it wasn't for the fact that they already had Rebels and Clone Wars like that, maybe they would choose a different animation style, but they kind of have to keep it that way now, So
I think it's okay. You know, it definitely grew on me. I do think for the Star Wars, I like because it's an obviously digital animation. It doesn't look like a hand-drawn cartoon.
Yeah.
I think that works very well for a Star Wars show.
Now they did talk a little bit more this week about Star Wars Visions and how it will be out this year.
Oh yeah,
And that's the new animated anthology series that they're going to be doing. And it's going to be more of an anime, like Japanese style art. So that should be pretty cool.
All I know is I am very thankful that Disney Plus is real and it exists and it is giving us the content because we get to go straight from Bad Batch to Loki. And I have not been disappointed with anything Disney Plus has produced so far.
Yeah.
And I don't know if before we even go to Loki, did y'all watch the new Pixar cartoon? What was it called? Luca?
Luca was very good. It was very good. The kids have enjoyed it. It was great.
We've already seen it like 3 times in our house since last weekend, and it's appropriate that it was released on Father's Day weekend.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, straight to Disney Plus, never in theaters, and
the kids were like, "Did you buy that?" And I was all, "No, I think that's just a."
It was just given to you.
like
Oh, it's just on there. You
Yeah.
don't have to pay the fee or nothing.
Nope, it's just there, and it's worth the watch. It's
Yeah.
great. It's got a good story.
My wife never watches movies, and we were like, just be in the room. And of course, she got sucked in, and she's like, "I'm crying. This stupid movie."
I hate that. God, I hate that.
Pixar, okay,
They did the heartstrings, man.
I know.
Pixar gets you right away. I mean, just go back to Up. I mean, nothing has more of an
First 5 minutes, you're like, no more.
The opening and the ending. Like I tear up at the opening, and I definitely tear up when the little old man comes up and puts the button on the little kid.
Yeah.
The end of Onward. I cried like a little baby for like 15 minutes.
Oh,
That
about
stupid movie.
Yeah, when he let his brother go meet the dad.
Yes.
Yes.
Instead of him.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you had Inside Out. So that one was super emotional about feeling. So whoever runs Pixar needs to be both punched and hugged at the same time.
When Andy gave up his toys,
Oh my gosh.
I was like,
Yeah.
my wife's like, "You didn't even cry at my sister's keeper, but you cry on Toy Story." And I'm like, Toy Story is my life. It's just my sister's keeper. I know somebody's dying.
And then when Woody leaves the group to go off on his own with Bo, or whatever her name is, the sheep lady.
Oh yeah, Bo.
Yeah, Bo.
Yeah.
I almost called her Boba Fett.
When you said that, I was like, "Wait, what are we talking about?"
Well, like, gotcha
We just
again.
jump movies.
Yeah. They just find a way to get you over and over and over again. And it's like Pixar just has somebody like, what could we do today to make them cry?
They probably go into like hardcore prisons and then just like throw these things out. And if they get emotional response, they're like, "Yes, that's what we're going with."
Do you have dad issues? Check. Do you have mom issues? Okay, not so much. Do you have abandonment issues? Check.
I bet they figure if they can make the dads cry, everybody else is going to cry. That's kind of, you know what I mean?
I love suckering people into watching stuff like this that they haven't seen and then like watching them at the end, like, seeing if they're gonna.
Yeah.
Are you human?
Amanda hadn't seen all of WandaVision, so we got to the last episode and I'm sitting over there like watching her.
Yeah, I think we had to watch the episode of WandaVision where they have the explosion where it kind of shows them when they're kids, right? And it was like all of a sudden, boom, there's a rocket in their house. So I knew that was coming, and I'm looking over at my kids watching them, and they're all like, "Wah!" So it's always better when you know those things are going to happen.
Well, I like how, going back to Loki, but before we go into the meat of Loki, like, just like the movies, Disney Plus seems to be hitting different ideas of genres with the shows.
Well, I think that's something that's very important when you're working with a universe like Marvel or Star Wars.
You want to get everybody included.
Right. Well, you can't. It's going to get boring if you make every single movie Iron Man.
Well, not only
You
that,
know?
but you're only going to get one set of people if you make it that way. You're not going to bring in this guy that wouldn't normally watch a sci-fi or
and if you
spy movie or whatever.
If you think about it, Star Wars and Marvel, they're not stories in and of themselves. They're settings.
Yeah.
And within that setting, you can have any kind of story you want.
I could almost agree with you on Star Wars, except for all of the movies outside of Rogue One and Han Solo have been the same theory over and over.
That's because they're all
If you go
related. This is a new thing with Star Wars. You also have to get into the expanded universe.
yeah, in the books and
Whoa,
stuff
whoa,
like
whoa,
that too.
whoa, whoa. We don't read.
Yeah, we read.
We don't read.
Me and Chris read.
Okay, 2 out of 3 of us read. I know Brandon doesn't read. He doesn't even know words.
Hello, Brandon.
He'll never watch this.
He's like me, where we listen.
Yeah.
I mean, I do read a lot too, but listening is easier for me right now.
But Marvel's done such a fantastic job, and that's the thing that DC Universe is missing on the CW shows, is they're all the same, except for like Green Arrow's a little darker, Flash is a little bit more lighthearted with an annoying wife. Green Arrow has the annoying wife.
Now, when both companies branched into TV, I would say that DC
owns
was doing
TV.
it better.
Oh, DC
Yeah.
owned it. I mean, for the longest time, we could say that Marvel owned the movies, DC owned the cartoons and the TV shows.
I would still say they do better cartoons.
Yeah, but we haven't seen any of the new cartoons that are coming out from Marvel yet.
I've
Like,
seen MODOK, which
I
has
haven't
been
seen-
good.
I haven't seen
but I haven't
MODOK.
finished it yet.
I haven't finished it either. But it's not like
But
It's also not a superhero anything. It's a sitcom that uses superhero characters.
yeah, because I want to see what If looks like.
And What If is an anthology series based in the Marvel Universe.
So, but and right now I just don't think Marvel's worried about cartoons. I think they're worried about just the content of the overall MCU.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we talked about this during WandaVision, but I had a random thought this morning that because as they got past the sitcom idea, right, the episodes got longer, right?
Yeah.
But right up until that, they were always around 30 minutes, which was a sitcom time. Mm-hmm. And then after, did we ever talk about that? About how just all of a sudden, once the sitcom theme was gone, the show got to normal hours? Went to its normal 50 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, you also kind of see that with the fact that they started doing after credit stuff and things like that as well. So I haven't done an after credit yet in Loki.
They haven't.
Oh, yeah.
So,
which they didn't do the first one in WandaVision until episode 5 anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm kind of wondering, and then Falcon Winter Soldier did have one.
Just the one.
So I would think Loki would have
somewhere, some along the way.
There would be someone somewhere.
So we get to talk about 2 weeks of Loki in this go around.
Yep.
Because so the second episode is them on the hunt for the variant that is killing everybody. Mm-hmm. And the particular variant that they're hunting is Loki. But, you don't find out till the end of the episode which Loki. What are you doing? Are you watching this live?
On the Twitch feed so I can see comments.
Oh, cool, because there are comments. There's someone that said, hello.
Yeah, it's me.
Oh, hello. I can't read the name because the bar is just perfectly in place.
You going to start sharing and try and win your own prize again?
Yeah.
Damn it. So, I really enjoyed Owen Wilson's character in this show. I really enjoy how they've introduced him, and I'm really going to be sad if we never see him again after the Loki season is over.
Yeah.
I think we'll see. I think it's interesting that somebody was asked him how he prepared for that role, and he was like, I didn't read any comics. I just had Tom Hiddleston explain everything to me.
Have y'all seen Tom Hiddleston doing his Owen Wilson impression?
I haven't seen that yet.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I've heard it was good, and then I guess there's a video of him seeing Tom Hiddleston doing the impression. So I need to see both of these things.
But you go through and you kind of start in episodes 2. You start kind of getting an idea that you're not really trusting
what Loki's doing.
Not really what both sides are doing.
Yeah, you don't really know. It's still mystery.
You know what Loki's doing. That's his whole MO is to not trust.
Yeah, but you don't know if he's really that time that he saw his whole life play out is he really after the power of the timekeepers, or is he a changed guy again? You don't.
Well, there's no way watching that on a screen is going to change him happening in real life did.
I think seeing his mom was
that's the most affecting thing.
I think that was the wall cracking. And then I think when he was in the room by himself and then he saw Thanos snap his neck.
Yeah.
I think I don't think we're ever going to get the Loki that we had then.
Well, we also have the part of this scene too where they come up to him and they're like, "She died because of you."
Yeah, you basically killed her.
You're the reason she's dead because you sent the people in the wrong direction, and they went and killed her instead of Thor.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's now that guilt's on him. You know what I mean. So I don't know.
And he's always going to be his own agenda. I mean, that's always going to be his MO. But even in the Thor universe. I mean, he had the Tesseract. I mean, he was still up to his old ways. He had the Tesseract when Thanos snapped his neck. And he was willing to give it up for Thor's life. Mm-hmm. But in his end, he was still trying to do his own thing. He had the Tesseract hidden. So he's trying to do his own thing the whole time.
Right.
So he's still always going to be about himself. But I think in his conscience that he is building, he will still try to help others along the way. It's like when he realized at the end of episode 3, they're not letting anybody on the ship. They're going to let all these people die.
Yeah.
You actually saw emotion behind.
Well, I think ultimately for him, it's not about being bad or good. That being bad to this point has been his reason to find his ultimate purpose, right? Right. And that's what he's all about.
Well, he even says in I think episode 1, he doesn't mean for anybody to get hurt.
Yeah, it's just about finding this glorious.
Until he rips that dude's eye out.
Yeah, but I mean, again, that was a means to the ends of his glorious purpose.
And I saw somewhere that they were saying that during the first Avengers movie, that the staff had a terrible effect on Loki as well. actually making him do more evil things.
Yeah.
Like it made what was already inside of him worse.
Yeah.
Which it could be the case. Yeah.
So like, because they were showing like different pictures of him before and after that, and how
he
like
looked more demented
and how
tired.
more demented
Yeah.
and just more exhausted and all that. So
Then the Hulk beat it out of him.
yeah, the
Puny
Hulk.
God. Oh, and I like this last episode where we saw the callback to the first Thor movie when Loki's drunk and he's all another. And he throws the glass
That was
down.
awesome.
But you do get to meet. You really get to meet the new Loki that he's chasing.
And I can't remember what her name was.
Savin, Savin,
Sybil.
Sylvia.
Sylvie.
Sylvie. Hit it. She's Enchantress.
I don't think she's Enchantress.
I think she's Enchantress because she doesn't want to be called Loki.
Yeah, but she doesn't want to be called Loki because
Well, they dropped the word enchantment a lot that episode.
And that's all her. That's the only magic she knows.
Yeah.
Is enchantment.
and I think that like Loki's trying to get her to explain how it works so he could copy it.
Well,
Yeah, absolutely. And,
Yeah.
and she wants to know his magic too. She tried to get a little bit of that of him as well.
And I actually think the dagger metaphor that he tried to use in episode 3 was
It
brilliant.
made sense.
Yeah. And she's all, so it's a dagger that doesn't exist. He's all,
Because he was basically saying he doesn't believe in love.
yeah.
It's
So-
all imaginary.
So let's get into the meat of the actual Loki discussion, and I think we're all three on the same page here. Page. We're all on the
Page?
same page. There's no actual one sacred timeline. There's
No.
always been multiples.
There has to be multiples because when they're showing off all the different Lokis that they've had to chase throughout time, well, if it's all one timeline, it would
he would
always
have
be
had to gone through all three of those physical stages.
Yeah,
It would be the same Loki.
it would be the same
Yes.
Loki all the time. So he
Yeah.
would never have Giant or Frost Giant. It would always be the same Loki. So is the Timekeepers, it sounds like what they're doing is they're protecting the multiverse from crossing into each other. Like they don't want variations to start branching off because it could be like the Secret Avengers storyline from Hickman where eventually all these worlds just eventually start collapsing into each other.
That makes a lot more sense than there's one timeline.
Yeah.
You know.
I also think Brandon wasn't here to tell everybody that, we're talking all about spoilers. Sorry if you're listening.
Well,
It's fine. It's fine. It's all fine.
if you're watching our podcast live with us, it was
know.
yesterday. You had time.
But the way I understand it is the multiverse is a spatial thing, not a time thing. They're interdimensional,
Right.
not branches of a different timeline.
And, if you go back to think about when the Avengers were talking about what they were doing and how that affects time, and then you talk about Doctor Strange who can literally go back and see all the different timelines.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
the Eye of
14 million
Agamotto.
ways that this could end.
Then he's got to have a pretty good idea of what's going on. You
Right.
would think he has to know about timekeepers and
Well, not only
he would
that,
have to know about that kind of stuff.
you're also saying the ancient one's wrong when she says that anything you do affects the time that you're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's more to the timekeeper thing, whether it's
And
Kang, which we've seen a lot of people talking about.
And they literally have a movie called The Multiverse coming out.
Yeah, Multiverse of Madness.
So I wanna hop on this Kang theory real quick. One theory out there is that Kang is one of the timekeepers.
the center one that they keep kind of closing in on, like keep showing his
And
statue over and over and over again.
We find out that in this past episode that all of the agents are actually variants
And they have
themselves.
no idea that
and
they're
they don't
variants.
know.
Yeah.
So the theory is that Kang is going around destroying these different universes and leaving one survivor to come be an agent.
That would be pretty crazy. Which, and then he just tells, maybe there's not even 3 timekeepers. Maybe he's the only one.
But the interesting thing is that we've only seen humans. There hasn't been any aliens in the TV.
Yeah, but he typically only tries to destroy Earths.
Yeah.
He's technically after Earths. So that would be kind of a crazy addition to the idea of maybe this is King preparing his army to attack this Earth.
The Earth that the
Yeah.
Avengers are a part of.
Correct, because he really hates the Avengers. Now, Kang has a younger version. I don't know. Yeah, you were pretty...
I know the story you're talking about.
There was a younger... Because they have been slowly introducing the Young Avengers inside of the Disney Plus world.
Yep.
And so far we have 3 of them. We have Scarlet Witch's 2 kids. We have the Patriot Kid, which is Isaiah.
From Falcon Winter Soldier.
Falcon Winter Soldier's grandson.
Yeah, and the Falcon, I think they'll probably use in there too. The other guy that he gave the Falcon suit to. I think we may see him in some of that. We'll see.
Maybe.
He may be some kind of a mentor. Or something.
So far we've got Cassie, which is Stature. Ant-Man's
Well,
daughter.
we already know who's coming in Hawkeye. We've got
So you've got the new Hawkeye. So we've already got 5. Well, the person who actually puts this team together is Kang from the future's younger self. He comes back in time. He's part of the team. I think they call it Iron Lad. He was basically the Iron Man version of their team. And who knows? They may play with that because it sure seems like they're putting together the Young Avengers.
Yeah.
For either.
Well, we know we have Riri coming as well.
Yeah, we got Riri. We got Miss Marvel and Riri would end up being champions. So I think we're going to have Young Avengers, and I think we're going to have champions. And we've already seen Runaways on Hulu, and I don't think they're going to redo that.
No. Yeah.
But I will say that with whatever her name is, female Loki, she broke time.
Yeah.
In the end of episode 2, she
blew
broke
some
time.
stuff up, and we haven't seen any of those repercussions yet.
Well, and I watched somewhere that they went through and they showed all the timelines that she hit, that they could tell what she hit, and she hit some pretty major timelines.
Yeah.
And she broke time, which she redlined everything. Like they can't go back and fix things.
Yeah.
And so now she has created a giant mess, and they've
A multiverse of madness.
a
you might say?
multiverse of madness.
Yeah.
And they have said
The
that
timelines across, bro. Are we going to see Wolverine in the next episode? Is that where you're going with this?
no, I still don't think we see X-Men. I guess we could. I don't know.
I mean, you could now, right?
But I do have a
Wilson's
sad.
Wolverine.
I do have a sad
You
thought.
heard it here first.
What if this is the end of Tom Hiddleston's Loki and we get a new Loki? They're slowly replacing other characters. So what if this Enchantress?
I don't know. I mean, we know there's already a second season.
But it doesn't. I mean, Loki can be anybody he wants to be. He can be gender fluid.
Yeah, I mean, I hear that, but
We'll
at the same
see.
time, I don't think Tom has been one of the guys that has wanted out of it.
He doesn't really do anything the rest of his career, anyways.
You know, he's kind of like Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth is like,
I think he was in a
I'll
horse
just keep
movie.
making Thor, whatever. You know, and same thing with Anthony Mackie says he's in for a decade, you know, or more, or however long they need him to be Captain America.
And so did
he'll
Bucky.
and Sebastian Stan said the same thing. He said, every time they call me, I'm going to be there.
And then cancel culture tried to get him for whatever reason. I don't even know.
I think it's the new movie he's making.
Oh, the one about Pamela Anderson and
Oh, Tommy Lee.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Lord.
'cause he's
They just-
Tommy Lee.
they just need to go away.
It was kind of weird to see him like all Tommy Lee up with
Yeah, it
nipple
was real
piercings
weird.
and everything. I'm all, that's not my Bucky Barnes.
I hope that this is not the end of Tom Hiddleston. Of course, the whole internet has been all over the fact that essentially Loki and female Loki have basically said that they're
Both bi.
both bisexual and gender fluid. They don't care, but I mean they're shape changers. They don't care.
Yeah, well,
She's
only
not.
that, you-
He is.
If you go and you look to read the comic books, I mean,
It's always been
he's
that
done
way.
some really weird stuff. So,
If you go back to the Norse mythology, he's done some really weird stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no worse than what Star-Lord's admitted to in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, like
He-
with tentacles and stuff.
He
Yeah.
gives birth to a 12-legged horse.
yeah, he like becomes a horse to give birth to whatever weird creature he had. Yeah.
And then he made a movie about a horse back in the day. Remember that one war movie where
Are we talking about Kong now?
No, that was
Skull
another
Island?
movie. No, that was Gorilla.
So it's been really good so far. I've really enjoyed Loki. It's been good.
I think it's been to me, I still stand on WandaVision. I don't ever want to watch the first 2 episodes ever again.
Yeah.
Like I can just start from episode 4 or 3 and I'm good. I don't care to ever watch the first 2 episodes of that show again.
The first 2 episodes of that are just to get you confused
Bored?
enough to try to figure out what's going on.
See, that was the fun in WandaVision, was guessing what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was. I mean, we had entire sessions about what's happening here, blah 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 blah.
And then Falcon and Winter Soldier, there's not really anything to guess, but it was
You're still trying
good
to figure out where
superhero
it's going.
content. Yeah.
You know
And
the
so-
ultimate end of that show.
Right.
It's to get him to be
So
Captain America.
I think Loki is the best of both worlds. We're getting that super awesome superhero kind of Marvel content, but there's plenty to speculate about.
Well, and I don't think it's superheroes. I mean, he's played with his knives a few times,
Only that,
and they've had things that turn you into like which makes the whole variance thing. Like when you get jabbed.
this
Oh, yeah.
TVA thing is not even something that's explored very widely in the comics. So like it's like a completely
They can do anything they want.
Yeah, I mean it's not like somebody can come in and be like, "Oh, that's not the way it's supposed to be,"
Yeah.
because I mean it's a pretty wide open thing
But
to do.
this thing is, I think, leading into 2 movies. I think it's leading into Ant-Man with Quantumania,
Yep.
and I believe it is leading into Doctor Strange and the multiverse.
Well,
I have seen where it's thought that the TVA headquarters is in the quantum realm,
Right.
so I could see where that could tie in.
Kind of just sits outside of time.
Yeah.
So when they're using those little pads, they're coming in and out of.
They got that from the X-Men cartoon. Yeah, remember the 90s X-Men cartoon? There was a whole episode where someone got knocked out of time, and there was like this whole little time variance bubble.
I don't remember the episode per episode stories, but
Yeah, there was a whole episode about like just somewhere outside of time, there was this place that kind of monitored time. And I don't remember which X-Men got caught there, but Apocalypse was after it as usual. So, but it was pretty neat. I think Sinister might have been there too. But yeah, I remember it being later on in the later seasons of the X-Men.
I go back and watch them, and I'm like, man, I think I've only actually ever seen the first season.
First 2 or 3 seasons. I know that like the end of season 1 to season 2 where they get captured and the Savage Land stuff. I've seen all of that.
Yeah.
But like after that, like
I'm all like, I don't remember any.
I know
Okay.
I've seen it all, but I don't remember it.
so for all you youngins that are watching or will be watching tomorrow, there was a time.
Today.
Yeah, not Friday was when we normally post it up,
But when they're
right?
listening,
Are you a
it's today.
variant now?
I'm a variant. I'm a time variant. I'm just here to produce chaos. There was a time where the only way that you could watch stuff is if you knew how to work a very complicated thing called a VCR,
Or an antenna?
and you could record things at particular times because they never came on TV again once they aired. It was once only.
Yeah, there was
like
no
I've still
reruns.
I've still never seen the Nick Fury Shield or the David Hasselhoff
It's
Shield movie.
fantastic.
It was on.
Whatever.
It was on
It's probably
TV.
terrible.
It was on TV one time, and I was on a trip in Seattle.
It's probably because there's 5 people that
And-
watch it,
and
and
I
they're like,
never
that'll
got-
never air again.
The only way I know how to get it is to bootleg it.
And I've never seen the Generation X movie, which as an X-Men fan kills me.
Yeah, and I actually wanted to watch that, and it was a one-time thing.
It was a one time on TV, and they never aired it again.
Yep.
So back in my day,
That was before
there was no DVR, and I
was
could
before
probably
the-
YouTube it, but
That was before X-Men. That was like around Spawn time, wasn't it?
X-Men cartoon was already on.
No. The Generation.
Generation X
was
was like 95, 96.
Yeah, since same time around Spawn.
Yeah, it was right around the time. Spawn was actually a little bit. It
was 94, 95.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
because I remember watching
Spawn
HBO.
the movie or Spawn the cartoon?
The movie.
The movie was actually in earlier 90s. Like it was 93, 94.
It was 94, 95.
Because we still lived on Avondale. Because I went and watched Spawn living on Avondale. I watched the cartoon and Generation X when we lived out on the land by Lake Tanglewood.
Yeah, because I know that the guy that voiced for Spawn, of course, he's done all kinds of stuff since then, Gargoyles, whatever. He's supposed to be coming back to do another version of animated Spawn at some point, but
That show was so dirty.
I'm sure the
It's
new one will be
HBO.
too.
HBO. What do
It
you
was
expect?
it was just hookers and boobs and drugs.
It's on Max, and I've gone back.
Isn't that what
watched the first
HBO
couple
stands for?
episodes.
Hookers and boobs.
and and the O's
Yeah.
for opioids.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say originals.
Well, when it comes to, I mean, I'm super impressed with everything Disney Plus is doing. We do need to start making time for, I guess, Titans is aired.
Titans.
The DC Titans.
That one is in July, I believe.
Okay. Because we need to start making sure we spin in some DC stuff just to
Yeah.
show we're not totally biased towards Marvel.
Well, I think it's getting some of that stuff on there. We want to talk about DC stuff, Sweet Tooth, if you haven't watched it yet. This is a TV series that was produced by Robert Downey Jr. It's a Jeff Lemire series for DC Comics.
It looks good.
It's on Netflix. I'm about 5 episodes in, so you should get caught up. It's really, really good. Like, I very much have enjoyed it so far.
Okay.
You can watch it with the kids. I mean,
It's
at least
kid
you're-
appropriate.
your older ones.
Okay.
I wouldn't say Piper. She might get a little freaked out, but I mean,
She-
there hasn't been
she pets
anything.
snakes.
It's like
It's fine.
TV. I think it's like TV 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old's fine.
Well, I mean, you've let your kids watch other stuff that I know they've seen, so it's probably fine.
You've let your kids watch other stuff. Shut
Oh
up.
no.
Just because they've seen one episode of The Walking Dead does not make me a bad parent.
It's
No.
fine. You cover their eyes. That's all.
No, they need to see that.
Yeah, they need to watch a zombie's face get peeled off as it's trying to eat you through a windshield.
Yeah,
That's
I like
what
to.
they need.
I like to sleep at night, so I don't like letting my kids watch that sort of stuff.
Or you watch
I never. That was like season 3 when Laura gets in a wreck or whatever, and the
yeah.
zombies trying to come through that
right before the
windshield.
prison.
Yeah, and like I had I never had an issue eating while watching The Walking Dead, and then I was eating a huge Sharky's burrito, and I'm sitting there watching that episode, and then the zombie's face is just getting peeled off as it's coming through, and I'm all burrito down. I can't do it. It's like grossing me out so bad.
My first one with The Walking Dead was the well, where they had to get the zombie out of the well.
That was gross because Dale was in there or whoever was in there, right?
No, I think they were just trying to get drinking water, and they had to get that zombie out, and like
it
he
fell
just
apart.
Busted in half from being waterlogged.
It was disgusting. Yeah.
So what do we have for animation news? Speaking of
that's last week's stuff.
Oh, okay.
Well, we still have some animation news in a way. We were going to talk about Warhammer Plus today since they just kind of updated us all on that. So give us your thoughts, Tanner, on Warhammer Plus.
As a already like way into it Warhammer fan, I'm all about it.
Yeah.
So what is for someone like me? What is Warhammer Plus?
It's going to include a bunch of stuff. You're going to get all of their animations. You're going to get access to both the 40K and Age of Sigmar apps, which will allow you to do army building and all that jazz. And you're going to get one miniature a year. You can choose from two. You could buy the second one, but you're guaranteed one of them.
That miniature is awesome.
You're going to get access to like backlog white dwarfs and old black library content and that sort of stuff.
Nice.
All for $5.99 a month.
So as someone who's already into the hobby, at $6 a month, that's an amazing deal.
And they're also going to be doing a lot of their own creator-owned stuff, like master classes for painting.
Yeah.
They're going to have their own battle reports they're going to be doing. Most of the battle reports sound like right now they're going to be based on storyline things. So they're going to try to recreate
stuff from
the books and things like that.
So do they have a yearly special if you just pay for a year?
Yeah, $60.
$60 a year. Basically get 2 months free.
Cool.
So
I saw that and I was like, okay.
So it gives you access to all three apps, Warhammer Plus. And actually they don't know what their streaming platform is going to be yet, which I thought is funny since it's coming out in August.
Yeah. I hope that it's like compatible with Roku's and stuff because I want to watch on my TV and not my computer.
Yeah. They said you should be able to watch it on things like that, but it did get pushed back a month, which kind of stinks.
Now, I still wish they would have done something to get new people into it because this is not attractive for a new person.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it takes much to be attractive to a new person when you get into Warhammer. When you have to spend that first $50 on a squad of Space Marines, you're like, all right, I'm already in anyways.
Yeah, but I think
so if they would have put the fiction out on like Netflix, then you have all these viewers to expose to the lore to.
Yeah, and I think that's the issue, right? Is when we first talked about this and how we were thinking they were probably going to try to charge $15-$16 or something like this, which is, I'm really surprised they didn't.
I'm way surprised at how cheap it is.
How they are. But the fact that at first they came out and they were like, you're going to be able to watch all these things day one. Now you're only going to be able to watch 2 shows day one. And one of them is an anthology series, and one of them is the new Blood Angel thing. And there's only going to be a couple episodes of each, and then they may not even be released every week after that.
Yeah, I don't know what the content drip's going to be like. But my biggest issue with it all was if I was Games Workshop, I would have looked at like what Stranger Things did for D&D.
Yeah.
That show got really popular. All of a sudden, everyone's into D&D now.
Right.
Same thing with what the MCU did with comic books.
Well, I think...
If they did it correctly and put it in the right places, it would have been a chance to bring people who were not interested in tabletop gaming into it.
I think that's what DC and Warner Brothers learned with the DC app. Mm-hmm. By let's just feed all this into the HBO app and hope we get to catch those viewers.
But here's the thing with it. Warhammer, they're not part of a bigger license.
Correct. And
so
they're
that's
not.
Why they should have gone... I figured, really honest, I thought they were going to go with Prime. I figured they were going to release... And, maybe they can find a way to do... things.
Maybe they could at least do a paid release on Prime where you can buy an entire season of it or something.
Or do everything's here 3 weeks from now it goes on Prime.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So as a business standpoint, as a business owner, what I think would be neat is if they figured out some way that if a store gets their customers to sign up for it, they give the store some kind of kickback, store credit towards terrain.
That would be cool.
Or something like that, because, how easy would it be to have just a little QR code on our counter and say, hey, for $6 a month, you can download all this stuff, and
you can build your army list for Sigmar for $40K,
and then
content for White Dwarfs that you can only get in White Dwarfs.
And then Games Workshop would just, for every person that signs up through that store's account,
I mean, they
just give you $10 in store credit towards terrain for your store.
They already make it so hard for us to even sell their product. So I highly doubt they would ever let us be a part of something that they're getting money on just by creating things out of nothing. Right?
Correct.
Yeah. So, I mean, when we're getting allocated ones and twos of items that are brand new and won't be coming back in stock for months. I mean,
highly anticipated. People are going to buy it out in a second,
and they don't let the stores have any piece of that. I mean,
they don't. They're not supporting their stores. I mean, it's a big problem I have with a lot of these things. It's like getting into like carrying Kickstarter people. Like, why would I carry your game if you're going to sell it on Kickstarter?
Yeah.
There's no point in me supporting your game.
Not for a while.
Right. And the same thing with GW, because our biggest outlet, obviously, for selling GW is Amazon. And because of 2-day ship, we can't even pre-sell the stuff until you have to wait until after GW launches. If they run out, great, because then there's a higher market for it.
But we put stuff up for pre-order on Amazon. They're like, oh, you got to take that listing down. It doesn't look right.
Yeah.
So you have to wait now until after it's been pre-ordered at GW to even sell it on Amazon.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, I love the fact that it's a great game. I love playing it, but yeah, for as far as being a store owner and stuff like that, it's not always that great.
No, it's definitely, there are certain games that are not friendly to being a store owner, and honestly, Games Workshop is one of them unless you're into the competitive play.
And it's always been difficult.
Yeah,
it's not a new thing.
I mean, it's
better than it used to be.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, I think some things, but not everything.
I think
the fact that they let you do discounts online is different.
Yeah,
or sell online.
It's sell online at all.
Yeah.
I mean, but there was no way to stop that. You were going to eventually have to.
This is the last month people are able to sell Asmodee products on Amazon, so I have a really good feeling that GW is probably going to follow suit pretty quickly.
Yeah, which then sets the trend.
I mean, the GW stuff's already hard to find on Amazon. You can't find the entire, like, if you look for an army, you're not going to find the entire model catalog on Amazon.
Yeah, and that's because a lot of the stuff is weird. How they I'll try to put one thing up, and it's like, yeah, sure, no problem, and they put something else up. It's like, oh, you can't sell that. Like, why not?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a weird thing. I don't know. So other animation stuff. I don't know if we have any other animation.
I don't know. I haven't really seen anything. I'm just going off the line. Well, there was another thing on the list of stuff we were supposed to be talking about.
I had a little list earlier.
I didn't change your list.
The new Snake Eyes trailer came out this week.
I have a hard time with him talking.
Well, it's prequel.
I understand it's a prequel, but the entire history of Snake Eyes in my mind, from the time I was...
He took a vow and he doesn't talk.
He doesn't talk.
Yeah.
And I'm okay that... once I see the movie, I think I'll be okay with the fact he's talking, but he doesn't talk.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be his thing.
But we did get to see him in his cool suit at the end of the trailer with the motorcycle and the visor closing up, and... It is exciting. I do feel like it's going to be better than the other G.I. Joe movies we had.
I like the second G.I. Joe movie just
I didn't
fine.
have an issue really with either of them. I was kind of sad that they didn't continue in some form or shape.
Yeah, because we all know that Duke was alive.
Yeah.
We all know that
bring back Channing Tatum.
Bring back Channing Tatum. He wasn't dead.
He's too busy stripping.
Yeah. Magic Mike is not dead. Put his G.I. Joe suit back on.
That's what he had to do when he got kicked out of the military. He had to strip for a living. So Snake Eyes does look cool. Of course, Fast and the Furious 9, which was one step closer to being, some kind of Star Wars style movie based on technology.
Going to see that tonight.
We're going to see that tonight. We have Black Widow in 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yes.
So, again, I think it's interesting about timeline-wise is Black Widow comes 1 week before the last episode of Loki.
And now they're actually saying that I did see that they're really talking about more prequel movies.
Yeah. I saw Kevin Feige came out and said that it is very possible to have more prequel movies, which I kind of think we figured was going to happen anyway with the Captain Marvel.
I think that would be the coolest way to introduce Wolverine is have him and Cap team up like during the war.
Yeah,
that would be cool. The other thing it's gonna
we'll see what the multiverse thing does because I really think that they're going to be able to do whatever the crap they want, right? Because of that,
it's going to get so confusing though because here we have an already structured what movie watching order, and if they start doing more prequels, then you're gonna have to start changing
But
where
it's
the
already-
DVDs are.
It's been that way the entire time, right?
Yeah.
Where the OCD people are like, wait, so do I put these in order by the movie, or do I put them in order by the end credits?
Well, and for the
Because
longest
the
time,
end credits are always kind of what is different timeline wise, because that's setting up the next movie, which may not have anything to do with the version you just watched.
and for those OCD people, their brain really got broken because for the longest time, Shield coincided with the movies.
Yeah, for about
the first 4 seasons.
4 seasons, yeah.
And then all of a sudden it didn't. They're like, no, none of that mattered.
Yeah.
But
Because they've already done time travel and they've already messed with the Kree, and that doesn't matter anymore.
right, that was just them filling time.
I thought that show was awful.
Yeah,
I liked it in the beginning.
usually half of the season I'd be like, and then the next half of the season I'm like, wow, they turned that around.
So for me, it was always I watched the first half, and I hate when TV shows take long breaks.
Oh yeah,
And it never
like their
fails.
winter break or whatever.
Yeah, their winter break, and I just lose interest in TV by the time the spring rolls around. So
Well, and then they kept changing like what time frame it was in, so they could do more inappropriate, like because it was earlier in the day at one point, so it was kind of more centered around whoever could watch it. And
Right.
they were like, okay, we're going to go like at 8 or 9 or whatever, so that it can be more mature. So that kind of.
I was a big fan of Arrow, and so when Arrow was on season 2, I think when Shield came out, and I just remember seeing like the effects and the writing. I was like, God, this is like Sci-Fi Channel quality.
What, Arrow or Shield?
Shield.
Oh, okay.
I was like,
So-
this is garbage.
So I will tell you that Shield was the reason why I found one of my favorite shows on TV because we always pre-recorded our DVR to record 10 minutes after. Mm-hmm. And so Shield, when it came on, Goldberg's also came out at the same time.
Yeah.
And so I would always sit down and I would watch the first 10 minutes of every Goldberg's episode. And I'm like, this show is amazing. Why am I not recording this? And that's how I started watching Goldberg's, was because of Shield, because of that extra 10-minute lapse.
Comic wise, do we want to get into what happened in Venom this last week?
I think we could talk about it. Okay. I mean,
It's been a whole week.
I finally read it.
I just skipped to the ending. I know that next week we should go ahead and say, if you haven't bought X Factor 10, buy X Factor 10.
Yeah.
Make sure you buy Sword this week.
So comic book stores will start getting their copies of X Factor 10 tomorrow on the East Coast. So most likely
by this weekend.
you'll know why you need to buy X Factor 10.
Buy X Factor 10.
So you can find it right now,
for cover price. Buy it now.
or you can get our really sweet bundle deal. It's our secret cover reveal. It's only like $20 for both covers. Buy it right now.
But it's going to jump up to $45 when the book actually releases and we show the cover live on. Well, not live. Some kind of.
We're going to have an unboxing.
We've never seen our cover. Marvel straight up said, you'll never see your cover until you open the box for the first time.
We know it's somebody important, and we know that important person dies.
And they're real dead. And it sets off the trial of Magneto for killing somebody.
Somebody's dead.
Are they real dead or kind of dead?
I'm going to go with, if it really sets up something this big, they're real dead.
Going to be dead for a couple years before we possibly see a resurrection.
At least a couple days.
At least a couple days.
I mean, it's comic books.
I think in most cases we've seen, Captain America, when he died, he was dead for a few years.
Wolverine stayed dead for a while.
Wolverine stayed dead from 2014 until 2018.
Yeah.
But he had like 17 replacements. It was fine.
Yeah.
And he had Old Man Logan
Yeah,
going
they
all at the
came
same
back.
time.
Yeah. And all of a sudden he was like a footnote. It's like, oh, regular Wolverine's back. Bye.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So now you have two Wolverines because Laura didn't. She still goes by the moniker as well.
Yeah.
So you have two Wolverines, and they're on the same team.
No, Wolverine is not
That's
on the new
no-
X-Men team.
Oh, okay. I thought they both were. So.
That's no different than back after the whole Crisis on Infinite Earths, there was two Flashes on the Justice League.
Yeah.
Two Barry Allens?
So Barry Allen and Wally West were both the Flash on the Justice League at the same time.
Nice.
So back to Venom. What happened?
Dylan stubbed his toe
And then
and then became Venom.
yeah. So
And then somehow Eddie Brock got really old.
yeah, I think the
God mode
stuff
didn't
on
treat him well.
It explains that it takes a toll on him to pilot that many symbiotes at once.
Then stop.
He can't help himself.
So, but he's gonna die if it's taken.
Yeah,
that
but
kind
he feels obligated to because he wasn't such a good guy in the past.
Yeah, but he's done plenty. He saved Earth.
That's not good enough for Eddie Brock, okay?
Eddie Brock needs to quit having a hero complex and just give in.
He's like,
But we know that Dylan takes over the symbiote.
now, did they ever say what more Dylan was? I still haven't got to that.
I
part.
still think that they've hinted at the idea that he is a child of the symbiote.
I think he's a half breed.
He's part symbiote, part human.
Yeah, he's Venom and Eddie's son.
So I don't know if they've ever really gone into detail about him.
There's been some kind of secret the entire time.
And
maybe,
of course,
maybe we'll see more of that in the new series when it starts up in October.
which is written by Al Ewing, right? Which is going to be amazing.
That's funny. Donnie and Al are just swapping
flopping
books.
Yeah, because Donnie's taking over Hulk.
Well, they are bringing a new horror writer on to work with Al
Yeah,
for this new Venom book. So it's going to be a horror style book.
yeah. Which is what he's done the entire time with Immortal Hulk. So
well,
that's
and then
fine.
Donnie's taken over Hulk. And then you have, what was the other big change up that I saw in Marvel? Oh, Nick Spencer's leaving Spider-Man in September.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And Kelly Thompson and Zeb Wells are the two that's going to take over the writing. And there was one other person they just announced today that's going to be a part of the 3 issues a month.
He's basically done right after Sinister War, isn't
Yeah,
he?
Yeah, Sinister
War.
War.
His last 2 Raw.
Yeah. So they'll have 3 new writers. It was kind of back how they did issue 500 through or almost 650, where it had like story arc would be this writer and this artist. The next story arc would be this writer and this artist. They are really trying to get to issue 1,000.
Yeah, they want to hit that
Like
Batman Detective Comics milestone,
Yeah.
right?
because I mean, what was that 36 issues a month or 36 a year? So I mean, they're still going to need.
Because they'll be at 900 soon.
They'll be at 900 soon, so they're going to still need at 3 issues a month. They're still going to need 4 years to get there.
We'll see.
Well, it's really a little over 3 years to get to the 1,000 mark.
They'll find a way to do it faster.
They'll just start pumping out 5.
They'll be like, there's no more Spider titles this week, so there's Spider-Man every week.
It's like, why are there 3 Spider-Man on FOC this week?
They'll all be subtitled. Instead of being like Black Cat, it'll be Amazing Spider-Man 955 Black Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. That way they're all still under his comic book title.
Right. 974 X-Men.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we saw the Miles Morales Captain America cover now, so I mean,
That's pretty
so
cool.
they're going to be, and it's just one of the cool
That was
Captain
just-
America variants.
yeah.
But it is a pretty cool to see him in that suit, and the design that they did for that was pretty cool.
And then, of course, we have Inferno, which is Hickman. So the biggest thing that most people had a problem with Hickman's run is House and Powers of X was this amazing storyline. And they never went back and kind of closed any of those storylines out. It's just been open ever since. So, I mean, we've 2.5 years of being an open storyline. And so Inferno is supposed to kind of go back. They just brought Mora back at the end of issue 20.
Yeah.
Which I think she's been in hiding ever since, because I think she's on her final life.
Yeah.
So if she dies again, the world can continue. But there's also the theory that she may not be on her final life. And if she does die, it resets time again. And here we are again.
Well, she's a mutant, right?
Yes.
So they could just bring her back.
No. When she dies, she basically resets time and goes back to when she was a girl.
Oh, so it would take away Krakoa, and
And it would
it's
just
happening
immediately reset time. They can't. She can't be brought back.
now. Yeah.
So she
If you haven't
has.
read House of X and Powers of X, spoiler alert right there.
You have had 2 years.
That's the big Hickman thing right there. He brought her in, showed off that she was a mutant this entire time, and she's
then-
been reliving these lives.
When she's been changing the course of time with each of her lives.
Yeah. She's
And
an
they're saying that
influencer.
the reason why Destiny's not allowed to come back is because it's a personal vendetta, because basically Destiny set her on fire once, killed her once. So she doesn't allow precogs to come back. So, but there's lots of little things about Mora. Mora's going to be a big part of this Inferno storyline. I think that Mora's a villain. So you have Hickman taking over that. You have Moon Knight starting up soon, which is tied around the show being shot. A lot of Moon Knight hype.
That
Interesting
number 1
that
was on FOC this week.
Yeah, it's on FC this week. Interesting that Moon Knight, because it's going off legacy number here, is going to have 201, right? So we just now got to issue 200 of Venom. So it's kind of weird that Moon Knight got there. I mean, it's an older
Yeah, I mean,
character,
Moon
older
Knight,
book.
Yeah, Moon Knight was in the 70s.
But
though.
still, I think it's kind of crazy that got to
Just ironic.
200 before Venom.
We're going to
did.
stop this and start this one.
Yeah, but Venom is kind of like Harley or Deadpool. There'll be long runs, and then there'll be a quiet lull where those characters just aren't around for a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, so it's hard, I would think, to continuously have an anti-hero. Like, so Spider-Man, Superman, they're straight up superheroes. They're always going to be the good guy. You can't.
And Punisher fits that too, because Punisher will come around, and then Punisher's gone.
It's hard
Punisher
to do
comes
that
around.
with an anti-hero because once they get into the phase where they're the bad guy again, people can't relate.
Well,
Right.
not only that, but it's like they start to be used in those other guys' story arcs, right?
Yeah.
So you got to say like, well, he's got to stop doing that so he can fit this guy's story arc
Yeah.
for a minute.
Yeah.
So I think there's that part too.
But I don't think Venom's been a true villain in a long time.
No,
I think
the even the symbiote itself does not. After being with Flash for as long as he was, like the symbiote like hates doing anything bad. Like those few issues that he was attached to Lee, he hated every bit of it.
Right.
But he had almost no control over it.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're attached to Peter Parker, and I mean that was the big thing about the symbiote when he did attach himself to Eddie in the early days is he was obsessively in love with Peter Parker still. That's all he wanted was to be back with Peter again.
I mean, that's the whole reason why he has the webs and everything, right? He was just
Yeah.
mimicking Peter's powers from when he was attached there.
Yeah.
and,
But his
and-
time with Flash is what really changed him.
Yeah.
he wasn't obsessed anymore. He was just about helping people. That's
So-
really what he wanted.
There's a lot of Venom stuff coming this summer, and I will tell you as a retailer that does exclusives, and other retailers can relate, the lack of a Venom book to do definitely is different when it comes to sales.
Yeah. Now there is some Carnage stuff happening and things like that, but
Carnage doesn't sell
it's
like
not
Venom.
as big. Yeah, it's not as big of a deal. We do see Flash is back now.
Yep.
So I mean, it's cool to
A
have
new Lasher symbiote.
Yeah.
So,
all the
by the way, did y'all see Scotty Young's cover for Phage?
yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, so you're Carnage. No, I'm not Carnage. Well, what do you do? Why did you just have pointy weapon things? So you're Yellow Carnage. See you later, Yellow Carnage. So lots of exciting stuff through the summer. Of course, we're all holding our breath to see how the Penguin stuff happens with Marvel moving over, transitioning to Penguin. Another thing as a retailer, we were told when the announcement first dropped, not much will change, and everything that keeps getting told to us is like complete opposite of that. So
Everything's changing.
everything's changing. We're having to fight for things now. We're having to
We're still going to be able to do exclusives, but it may not be as once easy as it was.
yeah, and there won't be as many virgin covers coming out from retailers. I think from hot covers that don't get revealed early.
See, I'm
enough.
kind of wondering about. I wanted to ask today about extra printings. Right? Is that going to be something that now we're going to be waiting weeks and weeks and weeks on because they're going to have to set those up even longer in advance for themselves too, right?
Venom
So-
35 is not going to be out until the end of July.
What's weird about it though is the fact that we're not even with Penguin yet, and they're already making these rules. So that's a little frustrating to me because we know that they're doing this because of Penguin, but they're still at Diamond. So what does it matter right now? Let me let me give you some money
Yeah,
so we
well,
can make some money.
That's what my email to Marvel said this morning. I was like, I sure do keep trying to give you money, and you keep rejecting it, but I'll keep trying.
yeah.
And, the powers that be, like, again, it's another frustration point in the comic world that just change is hard. It's hard to get used to change, and we're going to have to get used to
Overall,
change.
I think we are excited about moving to Penguin.
Yes, they have worked with us and negotiated with us and all that jazz. But I think we're about out of time.
Before we shut her down, I want to go over our YouTube giveaway. So when we reach 2,500 subscribers, we're giving this bad boy away. It's the Virgin Amazing Spider-Man 800. It's the Tyler Kirkham cover, and it is signed and remarked by Tyler Kirkham.
Yep.
It is graded out at a 9.4.
Has the cool Spider-Man
Yeah.
CGC topper on there as well.
So all you got to do to enter to win this bad boy is, one, subscribe. Get all your buddies to subscribe, so help us get to that 2,500. And you have to comment that you've shared or subscribed something on the actual contest video.
Yep.
So that's the comments on the contest videos where we're going to be pulling the winner from. So make sure you do those two things. Before we started recording, we were at 1,800.
Yeah, which means we've grown about, because I think I looked at it yesterday, we were like 17. So we've grown over 100 in the last day or so.
Yeah, we're
So it's
getting
good.
there.
Yeah.
So keep on sharing. Help us get to 2,500, and we'll give this bad boy away.
And the next prize that we're going to do from 2,500 to 3,500.
This is news to me.
Yeah, no, I like dropping important news on random things I'm not supposed to be
He likes
at.
dropping things in water.
I do, actually. I also like setting things on fire. We'll give a bigger book away for the next one. It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's kind of why I picked this one. Is I didn't want to.
You weren't actually going to tell him what it was?
It's another, like, triple signed Venom 3.
Oh, okay. So
Which was...
It's another, like, random... It's a Venom 3 triple signed.
Yeah, I didn't want to wait until we got to like some crazy high number to give away a 9.4. So
yeah, well, this was
still,
remarked.
Yeah, and this is a really hard book to even get a higher grade on. So
I hate this book so much. And it's a shirt. It's been made into a shirt.
And it was Spencer's or Hot Topic that carried the shirt.
Lots of people did. It was just one of like graphic tee kind of things that you could buy.
Yeah, I mean it's a perfect shirt too. So great design from Tyler. This is actually this is the first cover.
First ever cover that Tyler colored.
Yeah, Tyler actually got in trouble for coloring that. Story says.
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to do it.
And the big reason why is because he's not contracted to color.
He is now, but he wasn't then.
Okay.
So when they were like, hey, we have colorists that are contracted to color that, why did you color this? Now
Marvel,
give them the color work.
Marvel has rules. They like to stick to the rules.
So then they had to pay him to color it.
Rules were meant to be broken.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's true. I mean, here we are now. So I think that's all we got for today. So we can keep it at a little over an hour, even with me attending.
I know. It's because Brandon's not here. They're not feeding off each other. Hi, Brandon.
I miss you, Brandon. I know you may never watch this, but...
hey, when you get here tomorrow... No, you're next week. The bright sign's not working.
So...
Yeah, we've already looked at it.
So, and I do have... Speaking of giveaways, so we gave away the Venom number 3 Melina cover, right?
Uh-huh.
So, tell me this. Has it still gone unclaimed because people aren't watching the videos?
I don't know. I put out the video, and then it's their job to go contact customer service.
So, because if it goes like another 30 days without being unclaimed, I think we're going to have to give it away again. Because
that's only... I mean, somebody's got to have it.
Yeah, somebody's got to have it. But if it's really gone unclaimed, I guess we're just going to have to give it away again for some special like YouTube thing. Like, I don't know. So just a random thought while we're actually
So go watch the video of the winner.
Yeah, there's a winner video, so go watch that. And,
if you know the guy or gal,
maybe tag him.
I think it was a guy. I don't remember.
Then hit him up. Say, bro, get your book before they go to somebody else.
Customer service.
Yep.
It's not my job. It's not my job to make sure you get your book. You have to take some initiative.
We want those watch hours. So everybody go watch that video.
Everybody. All 5 of you.
17.
I thought it was 12.
16.
Okay.
10. All right. Outro.
What's on YouTube this next week?
Stuff.
What do you got?
Me and Darren argue about costumes.
Yeah, you did. Oh, we didn't talk about that tonight, but we'll wait till Brandon gets back because I'm sure he has some input.
So far, like 3 people have agreed with you. Most everybody seems to think Rogue, Gambit, or somebody like the really Boris-style Nightcrawler costume.
I just
Borat.
ignore the comments that don't agree with me.
So all of them.
So we'll talk about that next week. You got the FOC videos up there. Yep. Of course, you can. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching that kind of stuff. Right. So I don't think we have anything. We may have some more. Well, no, Brandon's not here to do initiative, so we won't have any.
We did put up an X-wing report.
Yeah.
So you can go watch that. It was. I'm not an X-wing player, so I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. Yeah. It was interesting,
to say the least. I think I watched it in your office.
Parts of it. Yeah.
It was going to be cooler, but we recorded the wrong input, so we don't have all the fancy graphics on it.
Damn it. Okay.
That's how we live and learn.
Yep.
At least we had one input.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, I messed up. Y'all gonna have to come redo it.
The whole game. Exact same moves.
Yeah. Yeah.
You mess anything up, we have video proof somewhere. All right, guys. So appreciate y'all spending your time Thursday with you if you're on Twitch.
Yep. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.
Yep. Next time.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bitch,
Bye,
Brandon.
Felicia.